Welcome everybody to the video where I teach you everything you need to know about the scholarly article Semantic Processing in Bilingual Aphasia, Evidence of Language Dependency, authored by these lovely people. I will be giving y'all a general overview of the study, then diving into the specifics. Firstly, what am I even talking about? Well, basically, the researchers want to answer the question, is semantic processing language dependent? And are using bilingual aphasia to do so. This will make more sense if we break that down concept by concept. Bilingual, pretty easy, knowing two languages. Language dependent means something is affected by which language you're using. Aphasia, the impairment of speech production, comprehension, reading, and or writing abilities. And semantic control is a set of processes that let your brain shift and control the retrieval of information based on the context of what your brain needs. So I hope that clears some things up. Now on to the first of our deeper dives, motivation. What did we already know that led to this question even being asked at all? The answer comes in two parts, what we know about the bilingual brain and what we think about aphasia. According to many different types of studies on both healthy and brain-damaged patients, the brain basically works the same in both languages. The neural pathways are practically identical, and category deficits don't tend to change between languages. But every so often, there are some differences, so we do still have to study this. The answer for how aphasia works is a bit less conclusive. There is a theory that, unlike semantic dementia, aphasia tends to work by messing with the retrieval rather than representation, and that retrieval is at least partially controlled by semantic control. This has already been used to study monolinguals. Also, side note, the reason that we do have to use patients with aphasia is because healthy-only studies have been inconclusive. Now, methods. How did they actually test their ideas? Well, the researchers collected 11 aphasic patients who knew Catalan and Spanish. Then they tested a bunch of stuff to make sure nothing would mess with the tests. Then they got 13 healthy controls. All participants performed 3 tasks: the semantic blocked cyclic naming task, the bilingual word picture matching task, and the flanker task. In the semantic blocked cyclic naming task, participants were shown sets of 4 photos and had to name all of them. Some sets of the photos were categorically similar and some were more mixed. They did this in both languages in separate trials. In the bilingual word picture matching task, participants were shown a photo and 2 words, one the name of the object and another a semantically similar word, and the participant had to choose which was correct. This was run with both languages at the same time, but within a trial both words would be the same language. There were 2 types of trials: repeat trials where the language was the same as the previous, and the switch trials where it would be different. In the flanker task, this was a task run to see if any deficits were just caused by general executive functioning problems. In each trial, participants were shown 5 arrows at the same time and had to choose which way the arrow in the center was pointing, with the different conditions being the other arrows being in the same direction or arrows being in the different direction. In all 3 of these, reaction times and accuracy were measured. Basically, if semantic control is language dependent, there will be differences between the 2 languages, and if it's independent, we should see the same results for both. The results. It is fair to say in all the tasks, the patient group was slower and less accurate than the control group. For the semantic blocked cyclic naming task, language had no significant effect for either group, except for specifically the reaction time for the patient group in the 3rd homogeneous block, slightly raised for the non-dominant language. For the bilingual word picture matching task, the patient group was slightly slower in the non-dominant language in the switch condition. In the flanker task, all groups were comparatively slower for the incongruent trials, and since it didn't correlate with any of the other tasks, we can infer any deficits are not just executive control problems. So what does this mean overall? Well, it means semantic control actually is language dependent. We do see a measurable difference for the non-dominant language, and that even some of semantic retrieval is language dependent, if only in situations where both languages are being used. And along with this, the study did prove that semantic control isn't just executive control because they don't correlate. Well, that's all from me. If you want any more info about this, read the paper yourself. I'm done.